All right, Saagar, what are you looking at?
Well, look, one of the core theses of the show is that the media sucks. Not just left-wing media, not just right-wing media, the entire institutionalized apparatus, which is supposed to give us information, but has basically become a home of institutional propaganda. Now, it's why Crystal and I have both a copy of Manufacturing Consent and Matt Taibbi's Hate Inc. right up here on the shelves, because we passionately believe that the only function the media serves today is making us hate each other more to cover up for the sins of the oligarchic elite. And it turns out it's not just us that thinks that. It's the entire country. We're not crazy, it turns out. The people in charge are. A new study from the Reuters Institute and Oxford University has some grim news for the US media. Not only will they listen, they found that out of the 29 quote-unquote free nations across this world, the United States literally has the lowest level of trust in the media at 29%. The lowest level of the entire free world. Yeah, we're exceptional, all right, in how much our populace absolutely despises the mainstream. And not only do we not trust the news, but the negative is also true. America actively distrusts the news more than any other major nation on earth. 44% of those surveys say they actively don't believe what they are being told. It really is almost like the study was perfectly commissioned for this show. My personal favorite statistics within the study are surveys of ages of people and asking them whether they think the news covers them fairly. Now, it won't surprise you, in the United States, 44% of boomers feel that they are being covered fairly, compared to only 29% who don't. Now, if you switch that around and you ask Zoomers, only 26% say the news covers them fairly, 37% saying it doesn't. Similar numbers for millennials at 37% and 35% respectively. So what's going on here? No surprise, the only people in the country who think they're being fairly covered are boomers, and even they think only somewhat. What struck me most about the study was a nearly ever-present notion amongst those within them, amongst everyone in America who isn't a boomer, that the news sucks. Now look, I know we have some amazing boomer viewers here at Breaking Points, but let's be honest, they are few and very far between. The vast majority are they're content, they are locked into the cable news delivery systems, which are poisoning the country. It won't surprise you to learn, the younger you are in America, the more underrepresented in the news that you feel. Now obviously, I identify with that passionately, but it strikes a chord to learn this. We're not the crazy ones, even though it may often feel that way. Cable news is a monopoly, but it is at its core a dying business. Glenn Greenwald, ever the thorn in the side of the MSNBC media, pointed out yesterday, Chris Hayes, who's one of the top 10 most successful people on all of cable, is getting just 100,000 people under the age of 55 out of the millions who tune into his show. The same is said for Joy Reid, for Lawrence O'Donnell. On the weekend, it's even worse. MSNBC is getting only 25,000 to 60,000 people under the age of 55 when they don't have a big name guest. Now think about that. If those were our numbers here that we're getting on Breaking Points, I would be living in a shack down under the bridge. And yet, bizarrely enough, the size of the audience somehow doesn't seem to matter. Some of you might remember when we recently talked to Joe Rogan, I asked him this question. Millions of people listen to you, but also the mainstream doesn't seem aware of you, or at the very least, they try to pretend that you don't exist. Joe didn't give that much thought as to why exactly, but honestly, that's a question I'm obsessed with. If people who get millions of viewers are memory hold from popular culture, then what exactly is going on here? And it's obvious. They're basically trying to wish cast their old reality onto the new one for as long as they can. And here's the thing. On the one hand, things are working for them. Joe Biden is literally the president, the definition of the old order. The Sunday shows in DC, they still matter. People make news. Reporters continue to do their jobs, running around the Capitol, asking about a January 6th commission. In some ways, our politics feels exactly like 2008. Nothing has changed. But obviously, that's crazy. We just lived through a wild pandemic. We have a much younger population. The internet is where all of us consume news and share news. It feels like the old order should have already died. Now, I have no idea when it eventually will come. Personally, I can't wait. But one way of reading the survey results on Americans is that things couldn't be worse in terms of getting information. The other is that people are more hungry than ever, that the old system is so decrepit that they're just waiting for someone to come in and kick them over. I like to think that's a small part of what we're doing here. I hope to see more of it in the future. It's pretty amazing, Crystal, to see some of that data, especially